Guys, please don't forget to subscribe on the channel of Wealth Munshi. Click on the bell icon and get the latest updates.
Friends, last video we had discussed, which was episode 12, on what is savings, importance of savings, and how does it benefit to you on a long term. This video we're going to talk about repayments. This is the episode 13. What is the importance of repayments? What are the advantages, disadvantages? What is the difference between prepayment and repayment? So what is a repayment? Repayment is basically if you've taken a loan or any kind of debt, which we had discussed in one of the episodes before, we are going to pay that money back. Now that money back which you pay depends on your tenure, the interest rate, the amount of loan you've taken, and the kind of collateral you've given for the same. The most popular repayments in a retail market are primarily four of them. One is home loan, which is the biggest in a retail market. Second is the car. Second could be any kind of utensil or home stuff which you buy. Education loan. This is the fourth one, which is primarily taken for kids' higher education. For corporates, the primarily loans come into when they have any kind of manufacturing unit and they take a loan against three main things. One is LC, which is known as letter of credit, against sending something to the buyer. Second is something where they take a loan to build up a factory or something like that. And third is where they have something like a land acquired where they do not want to put in a lot of money to acquire this land to build up a kind of a unit. These are the main popular repayments which are done for retail and corporate market. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of repayments? The advantages primarily are that when you make a kind of a repayment and you take a loan, you do not have to lose your savings. Second is you have certain kind of money which you're taking up as a debt. For the repayments, you have to pay an interest. So you don't have to pay any interest. Third advantage is that for larger purchases, it's easy for you to take a liability or a loan where you don't have to put in a lot of your hard-earned savings. The disadvantages are, especially when you have a tough time, let's assume during the COVID times, if there's a job loss and there is no income, it becomes quite a challenge for you to repay. So it's always, advisable to have a backup plan. Second is in case of an eventuality, it's always advisable to have a term cover under Married Women's Protection Act. This is something you need to have primarily taken by your own self, because most of the banks who offer these kind of plans only cover you death by an accident or a total and permanent disability, not death due to any kind of death due to any eventuality due to any natural reason. Fourth is you always remember that whenever you take any loan, any kind of liability where you're paying a repayment, you need to try to close, especially the home loan, for the first 7 years, because that's the point of time you get the maximum interest benefit, and you would basically be able to get the tax benefit for the same. Post that, you do not enjoy much of tax benefits. Now, what is the difference between payment and repayment? Payment refers something which you make, any kind of money which you pay against the exchange of any good or service which you have bought. Repayment is something like a money which you are paying against kind of money you've taken it on loan, which has an interest, which has a tenure, which also might have a collateral depending on the quantum of money, and also depends on your terms and conditions with whom you're taking. Now, what are the risks involved in a repayment and a prepayment? The repayment risk is basically, well, let's assume I worked for for an export house before starting the business, and I was working for my father. So we used to export garments, jewelry, etc. This basically was exported on LC, DP and DA. LC is basically known as letter of credit. DP is delivery against payment, and DA is delivery against acceptance. So let us assume that if you export something and the person whom you are exporting does not make the payment, that's a repayment risk. You can lose the entire money, right? The prepayment risk is basically where you have taken certain money and he prepays before the tenure gets completed. So it's very important for us to understand, if someone prepays before the tenure gets completed, you do not get the interest what he was paying you after the prepayment is done. It could be a partial or a complete prepayment. So when you take any loans, always look at these clauses as well. Prepayment clause in a repayment is a good idea, because you can try to close your loans. If you've taken a 20-year home loan or a 5-year car loan, you have an option to prepay and close it earlier as and as you get the money in hand. So some of the best ways to make repayments are, before I talk about that, and I'll tell you something which Munshi is planning to introduce, is P2P lending, where from our app up to 10 lakh rupees you can lend money and borrow money just from your app, just at a click. As per your risk profile, if your risk profile is high, you probably get a higher interest rate. If your risk profile is low, you get a lower interest rate, right? Now I'll probably explain in one of the other episodes about that same. But coming back to our topic is the best ways to make repayments. The first thing you need to do is, in closing your repayments, is close your credit card debt. This is the highest, we already discussed this one of the episodes before in debt. This is the highest interest paying debt. This should be first thing we should close. The interest rates works out to be anywhere between 3 to 3.5% per month. Second prepayment good ways to close is that top up your EMI. Let's assume you're paying an EMI of 100 rupees. You can, as per your increment in salary, increase the EMI. It could be a home loan or any other loan, so you can prepay the loan faster. Start easy exit options. You can also have an easy exit option where you don't have to pay a penalty, right? Thirdly is, you always have a bonus coming in. It could be a Diwali bonus or it could be year-ending bonus. Use that bonus to prepay the loans which you have. That becomes easy, doesn't dent your regular income and cash flow. At the same point of time, it's really helpful to prepay the loans faster. Lastly but not the least, it's always advisable that whatever money you're getting as an increment, start at least using part of that by increasing the EMI on a monthly basis to prepay the loan. The loans should not exceed more than 30% of your net income. Yes, you're right, 30% of your net income. That means if you're earning 100 rupees, do not over exceed more than 30 rupees a year as your EMI. And always remember that interest rates have been coming down. I'm sure all of you know about that. It's always good that you renegotiate with the banks whenever there is an interest rate option which is coming down. I know a lot of my friends and investors who have been investing with the banks in terms of corporates towards their OTs on their FDs, and even the retail investors on their home loan, they are paying same interest rate which we had started, and they have not renegotiated. It's always good if the banks have not reduced it. Please go to the bank, ask the relationship manager to renegotiate the home loan. We also have a home loan division in case you need some help. We'll be very happy to help. Last but not the least is make a budget. We have a financial plan, we have a financial planning platform which I'm sure a lot of you are using it digitally. Work on it, manage the money every year, every month, so that you know end of the day how much money you are left with that surplus. The day you know this is the surplus you are left with every month, you know how much money you can easily top up without cutting on your costs. Thank you so much for your time once again. We look forward for the next episode, which is going to be on your cash flow analysis, which will be the last episode of this series on financial planning. And you can always connect with our team for any further questions after these series also. We would look forward to suggestions from all of you in case you want us to add some more new topics which you intend to discuss about or know about or understand more. Thank you so much for your time once again. Stay digital, stay safe.